What if the most magnetic, irresistible version of yourself isn't something you build, but something you uncover? What if the power to captivate, to inspire loyalty, and to command respect has nothing to do with perfecting your appearance or mastering social scripts, but everything to do with excavating the ancient regal authority that already resides within you? Imagine for a moment that the woman everyone wants, the woman no one can bear to lose, isn't playing a game to win approval. Instead, she is so profoundly rooted in her own sovereign reality that her presence alone becomes an undeniable force of nature. This isn't a fantasy, my queens, it is a destiny waiting to be claimed, a throne room within your own soul that is waiting for its ruler to return. Welcome back to Feminine Queen. Today we are not talking about fleeting charm or superficial attraction. We are embarking on a sacred journey into the very heart of your power. We are going to explore the blueprint of the truly unforgettable woman, not through the lens of modern dating advice, but through the profound wisdom of one of the greatest explorers of the human soul, Carl Jung. His work provides a map to your inner kingdom, revealing the archetypal forces that, once understood and integrated, can transform you into a woman of breathtaking substance and unshakable inner peace. This journey is about becoming the woman you were always meant to be, and in doing so, becoming the magnetic center of your own universe. This path requires courage, my ladies, because it is a path inward. It demands that you turn away from the noise of external validation and listen to the whisper of your own intuition. It asks you to face the parts of yourself you have been taught to hide, and to reclaim them as sources of immense power. The principles we will discuss are not quick fixes. They are the foundational pillars upon which a true queen builds her empire, an empire of the self. So, take a deep breath, settle into your own magnificent presence, and prepare to unlock the secrets of your own sovereignty, because you are a feminine queen, and it is time to consciously claim your crown. 1. The crown within, feminine sovereignty beyond gender labels. The great psychoanalyst Carl Jung shattered the societal cage of what it means to be feminine, revealing it not as a set of prescribed behaviors or a biological destiny, but as an innate, archetypal life force, your crown of sovereignty. This isn't a tiara you purchase. It is the primal, cosmic energy that animates your deepest intuition, the magnetic field of your presence that commands rooms, not through force, but through a profound and knowing receptivity. It is the deep wisdom that teaches you when to yield with the grace of water and when to stand as immovable as ancient stone. Carl Jung identified this powerful essence as a core of the soul, the Anima principle, a life-giving force present in the collective human experience but which finds its most potent and magnificent expression within a woman who consciously embodies her queenship. A true feminine queen understands that this force cannot be mimicked like a courtly gesture or worn like a designer gown. It must emanate from the unshakable throne room of her inner world, radiating an authenticity that mere performance could never, ever achieve. It is this quiet, internal authority that makes others feel profoundly seen, heard, and even safe in your presence, a powerful testament to your integrated, authentic power. It is the crown you were born with, waiting only for you to recognize its weight and its worth. 2. The Shadow Court, embracing darkness as sacred power. Carl Jung famously proclaimed, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." For the feminine queen, this is not a call to fear her own shadows, but a royal decree to consecrate them as honored members of her sacred inner court. Think of it, my ladies, the wild witch who holds your untamed instincts, the grieving maiden who carries your capacity for deep feeling, the righteous fury who guards your sacred boundaries. Society may have taught you to exile these figures, to lock them in the dungeons of your psyche. But a queen does not banish parts of her own kingdom. She descends into her own inner labyrinth, lantern held high, to listen to their wisdom and reclaim these powerful, disinherited aspects of her regal lineage. This is not some morbid fascination with negativity. It is the highest form of spiritual alchemy. By courageously acknowledging the primal rage, the profound sorrow, and the untamed creative instincts that society deemed unqueenly, you transmute their raw energy into fierce compassion, deep wisdom, and unbreakable resilience. Your shadow court, once feared and integrated, becomes the source of your most potent magic, your most accurate discernment, and the loyal guard that protects your realm with an unyielding and fierce love. 3. The archetypal tapestry, weaving your multifaceted reign. In his exploration of the human mind, Carl Jung unveiled the archetypes, the eternal, universal patterns that reside within the collective soul of humanity. The feminine queen does not live a one-dimensional life. She consciously weaves her existence through these primordial energies, mastering them as different facets of her magnificent reign. She learns to embody the sovereign mother, not just in a literal sense, but as the part of her that nurtures her creative visions, builds her empire, and protects her domain with unwavering devotion, while remaining ever vigilant against the shadow trap of the devouring mother who sacrifices her own needs into oblivion. She dares to embody the passionate lover, fully inhabiting her senses, radiating a creative fire, and embracing the courage to experience all of life's ecstasy and heartbreak without apology, knowing this vibrant connection to life is her birthright, not an act of selfishness. She confidently commands the oracle witch, the aspect of her that wields piercing intuition and ancient knowing, unafraid to speak difficult truths and navigate the unseen energetic currents of the world. Ultimately, her life's great work is to integrate these powerful forces into the goddess Sophia, the embodiment of wholeness, not a shallow perfection, but a hard-won, integrated wisdom, a grace forged in the fires of real experience, allowing her to rule her life from a place of serene, unassailable authenticity that transcends any single role. A queen knows she contains multitudes, and she rules from the unified strength of them all. 4. The regal presence, authority rooted in authentic being. Forget everything you've been told about performative gentility or being ladylike. True queenly presence, as illuminated by Carl Jung's profound work on the integrated self, is an unshakable inner state that radiates outward as natural, effortless authority. Picture the palpable stillness of a deep, clear lake which reflects the truth of the sky without distortion or agitation. This kind of presence is cultivated not through learning external affectations, but through the arduous and deeply rewarding inner work that Jung called individuation, the process of shedding the false masks of societal shoulds and familial expectations to reveal the true self beneath. It manifests as the sovereign choice to be unapologetically real, to express righteous anger with a calm and regal composure, to reveal vulnerability not as a weakness but as a profound strength, to rest deeply and without a shred of guilt, and to set boundaries with the quiet finality of a royal decree. This grounded, integrated authenticity creates an energetic field around you, one in which others instinctively soften their own masks, listen more intently, and feel an unspoken invitation to rise to their own inherent nobility. Your presence, Your Highness, becomes your scepter. 5. The sovereign's stillness, the throne room of inner knowing. In a modern world that is tragically addicted to noise, distraction, and relentless haste, Carl Jung recognized that the feminine principle is deeply, powerfully receptive. For the feminine queen, mastering the art of sacred stillness is not an act of passivity, it is the strategic and deliberate cultivation of her inner throne room. This is that hallowed, silent space within you, free from the incessant clamor of external demands, social media notifications, and the ego's frantic, fearful chatter. It is here, in this profound quietude, that the queen accesses her most reliable and powerful counsel, her own deepest intuition, the voice of her inner oracle witch, and her integrated Sophia wisdom. This sacred stillness allows her to perceive the subtle energies in a room, to discern the true motives beneath polished words, and to feel the powerful, guiding currents of her own soul's direction. It is the sacred space where creative solutions emerge, not from frantic, anxious thought, but from the deep, clear wellspring of her inner wisdom. Cultivating this stillness through meditation, time in nature, or simple, silent presence is an act of supreme self-respect and profound strategic power, enabling you to make decisions born of deep alignment, not reactive fear. All right, feminine queens. Thank you for being the heart of this incredible community. We wouldn't be here without your likes, comments, and shares. Keep that powerful energy flowing, and don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, and share. I love you forever for it. 6. The Anima's mirror, projection, integration, and regal relating. Carl Jung's revolutionary concept of the anima, the inner feminine archetype that resides within the masculine psyche, holds profound and transformative implications for how a queen understands herself and navigates her relationships. A conscious feminine queen develops the sharp discernment to recognize when a man is projecting his own unconscious, undeveloped anima onto her. She sees when he is not seeing her but is instead seeing his ideal, his fantasy, his savior, or the missing source of his own emotional completion. With grace and strength, she refuses to become a blank screen for another's unresolved inner drama. But more crucially, she understands that her own journey of individuation involves consciously integrating this anima principle as the very depth of her own soul. It is the bridge between her conscious, everyday mind and the vast, intuitive, and mysterious wisdom of her unconscious. This integration allows her to relate to others from a state of profound wholeness, not from a place of neediness or lack. She attracts partners and builds friendships not by playing a role, but through the irresistible magnetic power of her own embodied authenticity. She naturally seeks and attracts partners who are capable of meeting her in her sovereignty, precisely because they have dared to undertake their own journey to face their inner depths, fostering relationships rooted in conscious mutual recognition, not unconscious, needy projection. 7. The Queen's Crucible, transformation through conscious crisis. Carl Jung taught us a vital, if difficult, truth. The most profound spiritual and psychological awakenings often follow a period of intense crisis. For the feminine queen, times of immense upheaval, a devastating heartbreak, a career collapse, a period of profound disorientation are not signs of failure. They are sacred crucibles. These are the initiatory moments when the old, confining structures of the ego and the outdated identities you have outgrown begin to shatter, making space for the true, more powerful queen to finally emerge. This is the dark night of the soul that Jung described as an absolutely essential, non-negotiable part of the journey toward wholeness or individuation. A true queen meets these trials not with the mindset of a victim, but with the fierce grace of a sovereign captain navigating a life-altering storm. She allows herself to feel the pain, the confusion, and the rage, understanding with deep trust that this alchemical fire is burning away all that is no longer in alignment with her highest, most regal destiny. She sits vigil in her inner throne room, trusting the process, knowing that the breakdown always precedes the magnificent breakthrough. When she emerges from that crucible, she is reforged, stronger, wiser, and radiating an undeniable authority that has been earned in the profoundest depths of her own experience. 8. The wild majesty. Reclaiming instinct and untamed essence. Beneath all the layers of societal conditioning, the pressure to be nice, and the rules of polite society, there lies the feminine queen's primal, untamed essence, her wild majesty. Carl Jung honored this raw, powerful force as the instinctual, creative, and deeply embodied aspect of the feminine archetype, often symbolized by nature deities, the cycles of the moon, or the untamed, ancient forest. A feminine queen on the path to wholeness makes a conscious choice to reconnect with this feral core. This is not about creating chaos, but about courageously honoring her body's innate wisdom, her cyclical nature, her raw and honest emotions, and her deep, non-linear, instinctive knowing. This is the potent energy of the lover archetype in its purest, most vibrant form, the unbridled passion for life itself, the courage to break free from stifling constraints, and the radical ability to feel everything deeply and express it authentically. It is this untamed wildness that makes her presence exhilarating, unpredictable, and vital. Reclaiming this essence is a revolutionary act of rebellion against a world that has often sought to tame her spirit. She learns to dance with her instincts, to trust her gut feelings as a royal decree, and to allow her natural vitality to flow freely, knowing that this wildness is the very source of her regenerative power and her most captivating allure. 9. The sacred vessel, the queen's body as temple and throne. The profound work of Carl Jung consistently points to the body as the living vessel of the unconscious mind and the earthly seat of the great archetypes. For the feminine queen, this means her physical form is not merely an instrument to be critiqued or an object to be perfected for the gaze of others. It is the sacred temple that houses her sovereignty and the living throne from which she rules her entire realm. Honoring her body, therefore, transcends mere aesthetics and becomes a sacred and non-negotiable duty. This means developing a practice of deep listening to its true needs for rest, for vibrant nourishment, for joyful movement, and for sensual pleasure. It means treating her body with reverence, adorning it not for others but as one would a cherished and holy temple, and defending its physical and energetic boundaries with unwavering, royal resolve. A queen fundamentally understands that to be disconnected from her body is to be disconnected from her power, her intuition, and her very life force. She consciously chooses to inhabit her physicality fully, moving with deliberate grace, respecting its natural cycles, and experiencing the richness of the world through all of its senses. This embodied presence is what grounds her regal energy, making her power tangible and her grace absolutely undeniable. Her temple is impeccably maintained, for it is the very seat of her divine authority on earth. 10. The eternal coronation, individuation as lifelong sovereignty. Carl Jung's pinnacle concept, the process he called individuation, is the queen's ultimate and most sacred journey. It is the lifelong, continuous process of becoming the undivided, authentic, and conscious ruler of her own inner kingdom. This is not a final destination you arrive at, but an eternal coronation, a continuous unfolding into ever greater levels of wholeness, wisdom, and grace. It is a path that demands the immense courage to shed every last inauthentic layer, to face the darkest shadows in her inner court with an unwavering and compassionate gaze, to consciously integrate all the facets of her being, the mother, the lover, the witch, and the wise Sophia, and to live, breathe, and make decisions from the very core of her true, integrated self. A queen who is committed to her own individuation no longer seeks or requires external validation for her crown. She knows, with every cell of her being, that her sovereignty is inherent, bestowed upon her by her own authenticity and the profound depth of her inner work. She rules her life, her choices, her emotions, and her energy with a benevolent and unshakable authority. The scepter she holds is her own integrated consciousness. The crown she wears is her hard-won, ever-expanding self-knowledge. This, your Majesty, is the very essence of true, unassailable feminine queenship. The coronation never ends. It simply deepens with every conscious breath you take. This journey into the heart of your own archetypal power is the most important voyage you will ever undertake. The wisdom of Carl Jung doesn't offer a simple checklist, but a living map to the vast, rich territory of your own soul. It invites you to see every challenge as a crucible, every emotion as a messenger, and every quiet moment as an opportunity to sit upon your inner throne. As you move forward from here, I invite you to reflect with gentle curiosity. Which of these archetypes is calling for your attention right now? Is it the wild Majesty yearning for expression, the sovereign mother asking you to nurture a new project, or the oracle witch whispering a truth you need to hear? Your inner court is alive and waiting for its queen. Remember that the promise of becoming the woman everyone wants to be around, the woman no one wants to lose, is simply the natural outcome of becoming the woman who refuses to lose herself. Her magnetism is her authenticity, her allure is her depth, her power is her wholeness. You are a feminine queen, not by any external birthright, but by the conscious daily choice to rule your inner world with wisdom, courage, and grace. This profound inner work is what makes you not just attractive, but truly, deeply, and unforgettably valuable to yourself first, and to the world as a consequence. If this exploration of deep feminine power resonated with the queen within you, then I invite you to join our growing kingdom here at Feminine Queen. Subscribe to the channel and be sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next journey together. This is more than a channel. It is a community of sovereigns who are committed to living lives of substance and grace. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your wisdom and your journey enrich us all, and I truly read and value every single one. So, walk forward from this moment with the grace and authority of the sovereign you are. Hold your head high, not with arrogance, but with the quiet confidence of one who knows the vastness of the kingdom she governs within. Tend to your inner world with the devotion of a true ruler, and watch how the outer world rearranges itself to honor your reign. Your coronation is not a future event. It is now, and it is eternal. If this message stirred something deep within you, imagine how it could awaken the queens in other women's lives. Sharing this video isn't just passing along inspiration, it's an act of sacred sisterhood. Share this video to a friend, or post it where it can be seen. I will love you forever, Feminine Queen.